In this video, I'm going to ask several creators that all played Black Ops 7 Zombies early at COD Next what they really thought of the mode, what they liked the most, what they disliked the most, and also what they would change if they could. The twist is that we're going to go one question by one and get answers from a variety of different people, and I'll also be answering the questions as well, just to add my perspective into the mix. So let's get started here with our first question and our first series of answers. So, question one, overall general thoughts, how did Ashes of the Damned feel?
I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It's hard because I was more disappointed with the gameplay systems than I was expecting.
Ashes of the Damned, to me, it's kind of what I wanted out of the first Zombies map experience.
One of the things I really liked is the color scheme. Being in the Dark Ether, it looked super great. I loved all the environment to it.
There was enough there where it's like, I know there's more to this than what I think the game is, which is like a good feeling to have, especially in Zombies, where it's like you think the game is one thing, but you know there's so much other stuff underneath it. And like, I could just feel playing that. So that was a good feeling. It takes a second to get a handle on, which I was like, I appreciate that as well. So I was optimistic about how it felt for sure.
I liked the map more than I thought, and I disliked the gameplay and the lack of changes in the actual like core gameplay systems.
I loved seeing the different pathways. They were intense.
So now for my answer on how it felt, obviously all my answers are going to be based on what I saw, but I have also played survival, so it'll be a bit of a blend of both. To me, Ashes kind of confirms the feeling I got when I played the game early, which is the Black Ops 6 systems reliance, which is a disappointment to me. I would have much rather preferred the game to feel more drastically different rather than optimizing an already good formula. I think it would have just been spectacular to feel like this was a completely different Zombies experience. So it felt like a Black Ops 6 map that was just a peak aesthetic BO6 map. Like top ranking BO6 map for aesthetic. But the problem is that I don't want it to feel like Black Ops 6. And it really just does look like it's Black Ops 6. Like if you took me off the internet in December of Black Ops 6 release year and you were like, okay, I'm not going to show you any of the DLCs after Christmas, and then you showed me footage of this, I would think it would be Black Ops 6. Straight up. You would easily mistake it. And then you'd be like, oh wait, why is the HUD different? Oh, do they do like a custom HUD for this map? And then you'd be like, wait, there's no way this is a new game, right? That shouldn't ever be a feeling that you could have, I think. So for how it felt, I'd say I would have liked there to be more distinction in this game, and I personally don't feel like I see that to a great enough degree. What was it that you liked the most, would you say?
I love seeing all the different locations. I do think this map is going to be pretty big. Exploring Ashwood, which is in the middle of Ashes of the Damned, was really, really cool.
Did you notice that one of the buildings in Ashwood is called the Ruby Rabbit? Did you spot that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, there's like Rabbit Lane or something like that, and then there's just a Ruby Rabbit building. I saw that and I was like, what the hell are they planning here? What are they scheming? What did you like the most?
I will say the gameplay loop is very similar to BO6, and in a way that can be a good thing because I think it's intact from that. It can also be a bad thing if it's, too formulaic, but I would say that the core gameplay feels open-ended and pretty solid to me. I think people will be a lot more pleased with like the atmosphere and stuff like that compared to BO6, at least.
What did you like the most?
It's weird because I actually started off the map not really liking it as much, and I felt like it was really cluttered, and it did just feel like, you hop in the car, you see the car HUD, the initial HUD that we have to play with the default multiplayer HUD
markers and all that.
Whenever I actually went into the settings and I just turned everything possible off and just made it as bare bones as possible, I feel like it changed my outlook of the map vastly for the better. Like out of 10, it probably added like 2 whole points to how I was feeling about it. Kind of got like some of the old grittier zombie vibes from that. That kind of like point halfway through my game when I changed it really, I think, improved my experience a lot.
So my answer for what I liked the most, I think the aesthetic of this map cooks like crazy. I think that it looks really visually pretty. I felt this way about Farm when I played Farm Survival. I still feel the same way about it now. But the thing that I'm most excited by is such a small thing. It is the Revelations house that I'm wearing on my shirt right here, bro. This house being on the exfil. I'm so curious about that feature. Everything in my brain is screaming that it's going to be an actual physical safe house. And if they do that, I'm just going to lose my mind. But obviously it might not be a thing either. This might be copium. So I'm crossing my fingers because it's so exciting, but maybe it's code. What did you dislike the most?
This is kind of a hard one because I mean, I say this on my stream all the time. Like, I genuinely liked BO6. Is it a perfect game? No. Is it like the best game ever? No. Is there not a million things I wouldn't change? No. There was an air of like, man, we've been asking for certain changes for so long, and it just feels like we got a Black Ops 6 Part 2 with no real meaningful changes, and it just feels so samey to something that a lot of people had a problem with. Even if I personally enjoyed BO6,
I can't believe we're gonna have another year of people being like, L armor system, like again, like come on, bro. So that's unfortunate.
I think the frustration for me and what I dislike the most is it kind of feels like those people aren't being listened to as much as it could be. Obviously, they're going to have the cursed mode, and it's hard to really judge. Again, this is like playing the base mode. Cursed mode is going to be kind of more custom tailored to those longtime fans, but I feel for those people in particular.
What did you dislike the most?
You could definitely tell that it was harder than Black Ops 6.
Okay.
But they are using salvage. And I know the focus is to hit box or wall buys, but that's what I would change. I just don't think that's, a mechanic that that should be changed.
So you were just forced to spin the box, basically, if you wanted to get a high rarity weapon. It was just like your only option kind of thing.
I feel like as we start to move into these different modes with directed, standard, cursed, there needs to be a middle ground, right? Like absolutely reduce salvage and cursed, because a lot of people don't even want that, and that's awesome. But I also don't want to spend 90% of the game hitting box, but
Yeah, fair. Okay. What did you dislike the most?
I don't know if I care for like how you navigate the map, because like, them wanting to not recreate transit, but being inspired by that. It's like, I liked how the bus worked very independently of you, and it was just doing its own thing. And you kind of had to build your game plan around that.
Yep.
The Wonder Vehicle is like, I think it has potential to do a lot of cool things, but it's not its own like being in the map. It's kind of just like you can spawn it wherever you are in the map, and there's fast travels to like jump pad portals. So it's I think the world doesn't feel as scary or oppressive as transit did, where it's like you really can't go venturing off other places if you're in a bad spot because you will die. Maybe it's there in other ways that we haven't unlocked yet. Also, we only had a half of the map accessible, so there could be ways around that in bigger portions of the map. But yeah, I feel like the tension was a little flat as far as like navigation.
What did I dislike the most? It's the systems thing. Again, it's just the fact that it looks so BO6-y, and I know a lot of people are going to say HUD here, but they have said that there's going to be this different HUD at launch, so I'm kind of keen to just avoid that being my main pain point, because it might just already be in hand, you know what I mean? Like, it might be a solved problem that we just need to wait to see. So yeah, I think it's a systems thing. There's a lot of other stuff that is very promising. That's probably my biggest gripe. Next question. How did Next feel as an event?
This was my first Next. And so for me, it was absolutely surreal to be able to be here, to meet other creators. So I loved it. I got super emotional just reflecting on my journey, and even just chatting with you, right? Like I told you when we met about a month ago, you were my inspiration to do all of this, and it's surreal to be here.
Full transparency, to be honest with you, I'm still shocked that I get invited to these things like at all. It's just like It's kind of like I don't go out of my way to like do something wrong or whatever, but I say what I feel and I say what I want, and I'm still getting invited to these, which is nice, and I'll take that opportunity because it's cool to do that and see my friends and stuff.
How did Next feel as an event?
We were coming right off the heels of a lot happening with people getting kicked off and not kicked off and everything like that.
I think one of the misconceptions Call of Duty has about its own game is that every player likes to play every leg of the game equally, which I just think is false. There's zombies creators, there's Warzone creators, there's multiplayer guys that are there for their thing. And I feel like the whole time at the event, it was like literally a dance of them trying to keep us off of the thing we actually want to play. Yeah. And that's really hard because it's like the rules are inconsistent. People are playing certain things that like, oh, this creator's playing this, why can't I play? You get kicked off.
It felt felt like every single person you talked to told you something different, and it just resulted in so much confusion of just like, I'm not trying to like hop on early. Like, I would like to play as soon as I know like 5 other people are on round 30 and I'm being told I can't play, and I'm just trying to get the right information. It just felt like there was a big disconnect in that kind of put a big damper on the event for me, because I you know, it sucks to know that some guy who is a Warzone streamer is on round 20 already and you're being told don't start your game yet, it's not time. So, and
this was such a big conversation last year as well, with John getting kicked off that year and Duke Dennis being able to stay on that year. So I'm kind of stunned that they didn't even seemingly try to learn any lessons from that. It's just repeated like tenfold this time around. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to like make the implication that there's like malice towards myself or someone else playing or anything like that from anything particular. I think it's just, it's a big event, but I think there's a lapse in communication somewhere that is causing these issues.
If they had it segmented in a way where it's like the zombies creators are doing the zombies thing, the multiplayer creators are focusing on the multiplayer thing, and maybe have like 3 main branches of Next and like allow people to really go in on the thing that they're there for, which, you know, is also like in turn what their community is there for too. I would assume people don't want to watch me play Warzone, right? It's like, I think it's an event that's huge and obviously massive marketing for them, and it's fun, you know, but it's not how I would have it constructed or configured personally.
I mean, overall, like, I think the event from a technical standpoint was like perfect. I was able to stream in like max quality, and I don't think that can be like understated enough of how important it is to have like a technically well put on event.
For me, on this, I made a video talking about why I declined my invitation to COD Next 24 hours before Next happened this year. And I explained that I didn't feel like Activision were keeping up with the times and keeping up with other publishers about the way that they organize their events and the way they enable creators to best do their job. Other publishers, like EA as an example of an event that I went to very recently with another publisher this year, they worked so hard to create a mutually beneficial environment and relationship and make all their creators as happy as possible at the event and empower them to do their jobs. By contrast, it feels like Next was hindered massively by inconsistent communication across the staff at the event, enforcing the rules of what mode needed to be played at a given time. I think the structure in general of what modes were being played at a given time also was just poorly executed. I think that they could have done such a better job in creating an event structure that set up all the creators to win and excel, instead of making them feel like one person's getting special treatment over another, or one person's getting bullied and kicked out of the mode over another, or what have you. I think there's a lot of room for improvement there, and I feel pretty vindicated, to be honest, in that I avoided going to COD Next because I was worried about these exact things happening, and I didn't want to be in the position where that sort of uncomfortable stuff was happening to me in person, and here it is. So I think Next has a lot of room to improve. A rating out of 10 for what you played today.
For me, Black Ops 6 was like an 8 overall, and while this technically has a few like quality of life improvements, I think for the current build, without getting to play cursed mode, without the new HUD or anything like that, the lack of changes actually made me like it a little bit less than Black Ops 6's gameplay, even though it was objectively better with those quality of life changes.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say the gameplay for me was like somewhere in the 6s, and I'm hopeful for it to go higher once we have all of the features. And then the map itself, I did enjoy the map, and I'm excited to play more. I thought it kind of captured those transit elements. I'm gonna give the map like a 7-8.
I love the unique POIs. Having the Wonder Weapon vehicle was super cool. The fact that you have Pack-a-Punch on the back of it, I thought that was really neat as well. We didn't get to see the Cosmodrome. I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, Zarya Cosmodrome, right?
Yeah, and one of the other locations, they had that blocked off. But other than that, like, the detail is awesome. It's spooky. So, and even the ammo caches, they're zombified.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would rate it pretty high. I mean, probably 8 out of 10.
Honest to God truth, I would say like what I played today, again, given my limited time I had, I would give it like a solid 8 out of 10 because I know that there's a lot more there that I haven't seen, and that's exciting. And what I did play was like good fundamentals. Not that it's perfect, and there are some things that I'm like that I would do differently still, even though, you know, they've listened to a lot of our feedback. There's still a few things that I would tweak if I had it my way, but I walked away feeling pretty optimistic about it.
Okay, rating out of 10 for what I played. Well, I didn't play it, so I'm kind of screwed on that particular question, but I did play Farm Survival before at Treyarch. My general rating based on not having played Ashes is I'm probably at like a 7-ish right now. There's elements for me that are a lot lower. They're closer to a 5, but there's some sort of background hopium copium promise that might maybe push it up higher as well. Like the whole house thing just gets me excited. So I'd probably give that like an 8 or a 9 because I'm on the copium hardcore. But yeah, I'd say that like an averaged out number of either a very high 6 or a 7 is probably where I'd stand currently. If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about the game before launch, what would it be?
The HUD.
Okay, that was easy.
I'm at the point where I want like a unique HUD for each map. It doesn't have to be that crazy, but just a little spice on it for the reason that the map exists, like, and something stylistic towards that. Another thing I thought a big thing was no crafting table, or at least reworked significantly. I'm sick of the same like equipment on every single map.
Okay, so making that more unique to the map would be your preference?
Yeah, or like equipment that's only on Ashes of the Damned, like, you know, or you can even kind of recontextualize them, like Claymores and Shangri-La were Spike Moors, just because it's cool for them, you know, little stuff like that.
Tessie is not very strong, so I think she needs to be a little stronger if, you know, there's gameplay based around her, especially with it being the Pack-a-Punch, because I can't move it once she's broken, you know?
Right. Yeah,
that's something.
I definitely got the same impression just from watching gameplay. I feel like a 20% or 30% health boost on Tessie wouldn't negatively impact the game in any way, in my opinion, but it would just mean that it breaks a bit less frequently, which is going to be nice.
Magic wand. Realistically, I feel like I would make the curse mode as close to classic zombies as possible, and that is in terms of like fully removing the armor system. It is going to be rebalancing the zombies, how hard they hit, bullet penetration going through the zombies so that you can shoot through hordes better. It doesn't have that weird like thing that Black Ops 6 and 7 have where you can only shoot through like 2 or 3 zombies and then your bullets just disappear.
Yep.
I want like full reversion and all the gameplay systems, and then let people pick what they want. Like make the classic fans not half happy, but fully happy, and then make those people who actually like the new Warzone-esque mechanics, make them like they have a game mode to play too.
If I could wave a magic wand and change one thing, what would it be? I think for me, it would have been 2 years ago for Treyarch to say, we're making Black Ops 6, and Black Ops 6 is going to be one kind of game. And if we know that Black Ops 7 is coming a year afterwards, we have to make some bold changes in that game that set it apart from every other zombies mode that's ever existed. And what we got instead, in my opinion, is something that is a continuation of Black Ops 6, which is then a continuation of Cold War, and it just feels like the zombies experience game to game is getting more and more homogenous, and I don't like that. I love playing World at War and then jumping into Black Ops 1 and it feeling so different. You go from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, so different. And even just now, the fact that we have the same engine year on year means that the game feels so similar. And so I think they need to do other things that drastically change the way the game plays. And the stuff that they're changing in Black Ops 7 is not drastic enough to make the gameplay feel new. Instead, it just feels like more. And I think that just more is not the vibe that you want to be achieving going into a brand new zombies game. You don't want it to just be more. You want it to be a different take on what zombies can be. So the magic wand that I would wave would be to go back a couple years and change their entire gameplay direction for Black Ops 7 to just be more bold, experimental, say, we're not going to do augments again. We're not going to do armor again. We're not going to do all these things again and again and again and again and again. And instead, it would be to make it more fundamentally different. That would be my preference. So that wraps up my COD Next interview, especially focused on Ashes of the Damned. If you'd like to see this format return from me sometime in the future, absolutely let me know. I've never done a video like this before. I just thought it would be a fun idea on stream. So it's a bit of an experiment, but let me know if you'd want to see it return and I can make that happen. For now though, I've been MrRoflWaffles. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.